Good morning, my beautiful people. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. Hope y'all having an amazing Friday. I am having a amazing Friday, and I like to get on here and from time to time, if I learn something that I think might be helpful for you guys, I try to share that with you guys. Knowledge is power, and the more we try to help and empower each other, the easier life can be for us. So I want to let you guys know a couple things about healthcare stuff that I went through, that I wind up getting waivers in these situations and wind up not being forced with these medical bills on my record, and I have to pay for it. Okay, so a lot of times we have insurance, certain type of insurance. There's hospitals and doctors that's in your network, and there's hospitals and doctors that's out of your network. So meaning that if you decide you want to go, they prefer for you to go here. This is where they picked out. This is their network. So if you wind up going to a hospital out of your network, sometimes the insurance company can say, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to cover that because that's not a part of our network. And you know, you can have a really hard time getting those medical bills released or things like that. Then another thing that I've heard, and as of for the past couple years, now they're not allowed to put medical bills on your credit like they used to. Because like if you look at your credit, and you might have some outstanding medical bills, but when you run your credit, you won't see those medical bills existing on your credit. You will see it from the billing that they send you. When you go into your chart, if you owe, you know, these facilities money, you will see it that way, but it doesn't make it to your credit. I forgot what bill they passed to stop that from happening, but I have not been, as of yet, for the past couple years, seeing my medical bills show up on my credit file. So I want to share two situations where it wind up winning in my favor, and I want to let you guys know this too. So if you ever, because I know a lot of times some people don't have insurance, or we're afraid, or you know what I mean, them doctor bills, and we not really kings of the doctors and stuff like that because of bills, the expense. So this is a story, oh gosh, maybe over 5 years ago. I had wound up getting really sick, 2-3 in the morning, thought I had COVID, and I was so sick, and this was the worst sickness I ever had. My granddaughter was here, and I was sweating and like this so bad. My granddaughter woke me up, and she said, Nana, wake up, you peed on yourself. And I was like, what? And when she woke me up, I was just drenched in sweat, and I'm not even the type of person that sweat. And I said, no, babe. My grandbaby, because she sleeps so close to me, and it was wetting her up. And I was like, no, babe. Nana didn't pee on herself. I said, Nana is sick. So that is sweat. And I said, you got to scoot over. And my grandbaby had COVID about 5 or 6 times. And she like the unsinkable. Like she said that the COVID don't mess with her. Because she don't get no symptoms. She'd be walking around with COVID, bouncing and dancing. And everybody else in her house would be tore up, crawling on the floor with COVID. And she was like, Nana, COVID don't make me sick. And she's like, I'm going to be okay. I said, babe. Nana needs you to move. And then I text her mama. And I said, pick her up first thing in the morning. I said, because I think I might have, you know, I only like to say that out loud because the universe, I believe in manifestation. Stuff I say, it manifests like that. But anyway, the C word, okay? Manifestation, I ain't asking for that. But anyway, so her mama came and got her, whatever. And then I just still was trying to sweat it out and, you know, take whatever, feel I'd be okay. And I got back in the bed. You know, she left, and the day went all the way through. I wound up getting back in the bed, and I would say about 4 in the morning, I woke up, and pain was every which way but loose. And you know how they say that God speak to you? And it came to me, get up, get out of this bed, and dial 911. If you lay back down and go to sleep, you're going to die. Clear as that. Your mind. And like I said, I'd be worried about hospital bills and, you know, the rescue. You know, I'd be saying ambulance, you know, I'm country, can't talk. And people like, what's the ambulance? Woo, woo, woo. They damn ambulance. So for the rescue people to get me, but I was not in a position where I could drive myself to a hospital. That's how sick I was. And with fever and everything. So I wind up dialing the rescue. So when the rescue come, the first person that show up, So I got up, got out of bed, and walked downstairs and sat at the table because I knew that the rescue was on their way. So I wanted to be able to open the door when they come. So the fire department, the first one come in. They come in, they doing all the testing and everything. And they was like, yeah, you probably just got COVID. And they're not going to do anything for COVID. But, you know, isolate, this, that, and that. I think that you'll be fine, this, that, and that. So this the fire department, because, you know, they do their assessment on you before the paramedics get here. So the paramedics got here, 2 paramedics. And I always say I wanted to call that rescue department and thank this lady, because she contributed to saving my life. So she came in and they started doing their assessment. So the fire department kept saying, yeah, the this, that, and that. And the lady said, ma'am, have you just did a workout? And I said, a workout? I said, no. She said, did you run? Did you jog? Did you do some extra activities or whatever? And I was like, no. And I said, no, ma'am. I said, I just literally was in pain, got out of bed, walked downstairs. She said, normal pace? I said, yeah. She said, ma'am, your heart rate is up. Like if you ran a serious marathon and did some serious workout. She said, the rhythm that your heart is in. And she was like, she told the firemen, she said, I hear what you guys are saying. She said, but based off of my training, we don't leave people like this with these type of alarming, her blood pressure is up, her heart rate is up, her, you know what I mean? Every alarm bell that was on that chart, she said, I exceeded over it. She said, I understand. And she said, I'm not comfortable leaving her here. She said, so y'all can go ahead and dismiss. And she said, turned to me and she said, ma'am, you can make your decision for yourself. And she looked me dead in my face. She said, I would seriously advise you to let us take you. You need to go in and get evaluated. I'd rather to be safe than sorry. Y'all hear Gino? He go, he want to get picked up. So that lady took me to the hospital. And when I went to the hospital, they was doing all the telltale signs and everything. And my potassium, everything was off. So, you know, with the hospital, you know, they treat you at emergency level. So everything was messed up. So they started giving me potassium, everything I needed or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And they wound up giving me a shot of antibiotics. Because they was like, whatever this virus is, a fluke that she got, is bad. So we going to antibiotic her. So they wound up giving me a shot of antibiotics. And then my symptoms were so bad, they did you know, the pharmacy don't be open that late, because when I went to the hospital, it was like wee hours. Oh, I forgot, when I got discharged, it was like 7. So they did a express to get that medicine so I can leave with it. You know what I mean? They wanted me, even though I took the antibiotic shot, you know, normally they tell you to fill the prescription. They said, man, we want you to leave with it. And at the same time, they drew my blood. Okay? They wound up drawing my blood. And I went home. And not knowing. 3 days later, you know, I don't answer calls I don't know. If I haven't invited you to call me, if you're not somebody I deal with or whatever, any unknown number. So for the people that keep doing that, calling me, don't leave me, don't call me and expect for me to get on the phone and have a full dialogue with you. No, leave a message. If I text you and say, I don't talk to everybody. If I didn't cut people out of my life, that's clear I don't want to talk to you. So don't think that you got the privilege to pick up the phone and dial. So I know people, and I never understood, I'm sorry to get off the basis. Why do y'all download Google numbers and all this? If you and a person didn't do well and they exit you out of their life, respect their boundaries. They block you. That's a clear sign. They don't want to talk to you. Don't download other devices to try to speak to somebody. Then when they rude to you, you get an attitude. You knew what the energy was. So don't use a third-party device to talk to somebody that deliberately do not want to talk to you. I hate when y'all do that. That is so kiddish and disrespectful. If somebody blunt, let me know they don't want to talk to me. My feelings will be hurt. But I respect boundaries. I'm going to leave them the heck alone. Okay? But anyway, I'm sorry. That took me off. So anyway, that wound up happening. So 3 days later, somebody banging at my door. And I'm trying to figure out, who is it? So they knocking. I thought it was my neighbor. I thought it was her. The other lady that used to be on the other side. I thought it was her because she always knock on my door. And she'll ask, the lady on this side is her friend. I don't want her to hear me if I'm talking loud. She always asks me, read this, do this, do this, do this. Sometimes I just don't want to be bothered, so I would leave her out there like I'm not home. So they start boom, 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 like LAPD. I said, oh, no, the fuck, she ain't down there knocking like. And I came and slung the door open. I said, help. And I looked, it was the police, the fire department and the ambulance. They had to scratch your bed with them. They had the bed with them. And now look, I said, oh, y'all got the wrong house. I didn't call for 911. And I was trying to shut the door. And the police pushed it back. He said, no, no, no. And they verified my real name. Are you blah, blah, blah? And I said, yeah. Did you go to the hospital 3 nights ago? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah. They said, ma'am, you got to come with us. I said, what? They said, you have to leave and come with us right now. You have to go with us. I said, what's going on? They said, sorry, we can't tell you that. They did what did they call it? A welfare check on you. And it's urgent, life-threatening. You need to leave and come with us right now. I'm scared to death. I'm like, oh, shit. I called my sister. I said, sis, the police here, the fire department, and the paramedics. They got the bed here. They ain't even allowed me to walk. They said the results they got back 3 nights ago at the hospital, I need to come with them. And I'm scared to death. My sister said, go with them, and I'll be on my way. She said, go to a hospital. And so we was discussing hospital. I said, I'm going to have them take me to St. John's. They close. And that's like 10 minutes. She said, okay, I'll meet you at St. John's. So we leave or whatever. So by the time when I get there, they push me in the room or whatever. And they instantly start hooking me up with IVs. And they start and they said, we're going to put antibiotics in you now, ma'am. So, you know, without like telling me what's going on, they just start prepping me for antibiotics and doing all this type of stuff and coming checking my heart. Then they all gathered around me. And they walked in and said they are the hospital infectious, if I'm saying it right, infectious disease control. So, and I'm like, infectious disease control. The fuck what I got? So, they gathered around and they said, I know you're afraid. I know you wonder why you're here. We're going to tell you. We just want to ask a couple questions. And they said, where are you going? Because I was in prep to get ready to go outside. And I said, I was getting ready to go out. And they said, you look so pretty. Are you in pain, ma'am? And I said, no. They said, we've been calling you for the past 3 days. We haven't been able to get hold of you. Sorry to use drastic measures. And they looked at each other. They said, because we thought you was deceased in your home. That's why we did that. I said, what is going on? They said, okay, we're going to get to that. Man, when the last time you been to the dentist? And I was like, the dentist? And I told them the amount of times I went to the dentist. And they looked at each other and said, that's where she got it from. And I said, what? They said, ma'am, you have a bacterial blood infection that have made it into your bloodstream that's affiliated with fluoro, meaning with the tooth. They said, ma'am, you have sepsis from a tooth procedure, and it made it into your blood. And people don't live with the sepsis we examine on your radar. I'm like, what? They said, when the last time you went to the dentist? I said, the last time I went to the dentist was in February. So I walked around from February, March, April, May, June. I walked around for 5 full months as sepsis growing in my body from going to that dentist in February. I walked around fully for 5 months, fully with sepsis. Like when I was in the bed and the jerks and the sweating and the heart rate, I was going into septic shock right there. But when I went to the hospital and they shot me with the antibiotics and gave me the antibiotics pills, it started reversing the sepsis, giving me a little bit more time. They said, ma'am, we finna admit you immediately. And we got to start aggressive antibiotics to kill this. They said, you're going to be on antibiotics 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on, 4 hours off, feeding it right into your blood. You're not going to be able to go home, contact your family, contact someone to take care of your dog. You're going to be here. We're getting the bed ready because it was COVID time. We're getting the bed ready. And it was so weird, y'all. The first time they put me in a maternity ward because there wasn't nowhere for me to go. And I can go in a maternity ward because I didn't have nothing that the babies can catch or whatever. And the lady coming in, she told me, where's your baby? You look a little old. I said, a baby? What did you talk about? She said, ma'am, you on the maternity for us? I ain't in here for no baby. She said, oh, why they got you on the maternity for? So kind of find out they didn't have no spaces. So then finally, they used to take the doctor's lounges from them and put beds in there. So they took me off the maternity floor just to have me somewhere to stay and push me into the doctor's lounge to have somewhere to go. Ain't that something? When these hospitals was, I was literally, so when people was coming to see me, I was making fun. I said, I'm in the janitor's closet because nobody could find my room. My family members, they said, girl, I said, girl, they got me in the janitor's closet. They came, they said, damn, you weren't kidding. Me and some other girl, converted a doctor's lounge and put 2 beds, put the curtains. They made us, they share a TV. And the bathroom, took the doors off the bathroom, but me and another girl, and she had like kidney disease or something. She needed some serious stuff done too. So, but like what I had and what she had, so they compare the people they can match you up with. And I couldn't go in the rooms, nobody would call another because she. So, they kind of put you where they need to be. So anyway, because I picked that hospital, right? And I'm getting to the point of all this. Gino, be quiet. Because I picked that hospital without going to a hospital within my network, right? So I wind up being in that hospital for 30 calendar. No, I'm sorry, for not 30. I wind up being in that hospital for 11 calendar days. They had me in there for 11 days until they tried to set up the pick line to send me home and have a nurse to administer it. But the insurance was like, no, that's too expensive. We rather for to stay. But then through the grand scheme of things, because I picked that particular hospital, was out of my network, the hospital decided they was only going to pay a portion because I shouldn't have picked that hospital. I should have went somewhere else. And they disputed the bill. So when the bill came back, they was opting me. That bill was, oh God, over 60-some thousand. So they opted and pushed it out and was asking me to pay like about $20,000. And I'm like, what do you mean? And they was like, yeah, they pushed it out for me to be able to, they wanted me to be able to pay like about that. So my sister's called, she'll call back. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't pay this. So what I found out is like, yes, I supposed to went into the network, but with my life-threatening injuries, right? This is how the law protect you. With my life-threatening injury, to save the life, they go to the nearest hospital. I don't care about a network. Remember, I was taken by a rescue. So I was able to argue. I was in crisis and I was literally dying. I was going into septic shock. So I couldn't pick a hospital that's way 30 minutes that away when I'm in life-threatening emergency needs. So they picked a hospital within 10, even though they didn't pick that, I picked within so many miles from my home. And I said I didn't have a choice. And then once I went to that hospital to be evaluated, they sent the rescue back to get me. And they, put me here. I didn't, if I'd have known I needed to be in a certain network, then they should have called another hospital, say, this lady going in septic shock, y'all better get her there. They brought me back here. So this was an emergency, life-threatening emergency where I needed to get this done to save my life. I didn't have a choice on a network. I needed to go immediately to start life-saving measure. And their attorneys looked at it and everything, and then the doctor saying, yes, she was going to die. If she wouldn't have did this, yes, we summons her back. And they got a waiver program that the hospitals and these people won't tell you about. And in special situations like that or whatever, when they shoot them bills out and it's without of your control, know your rights, fight for it, ask for a second opinion. And the hospitals got the greatest lawyers and stuff like that, the state people and all that. But it was true, everything I said. It was life-threatening. I didn't have the decision to make to go to a further hospital. I had to go, and then they summons me back. They came to get me. They took me from my house. I didn't call again. They took me from my house. So if anything, if y'all saying the first bill, the one bill for the emergency room, I should be entitled. I ain't tell them that. I should be entitled to that. But when they summons me and pulled me back, that was a crisis, a medical crisis to save a life. So they wind up waivering that and couldn't put that on my credit because they summons me to come back. So, and then also what I found out, one of the infectious disease control specialists, they let me know that the hospital got funding for people that don't have insurance and stuff like that, and you can get a waiver and waiver it out, you know what I'm saying? So she was like, the worst case scenario, if you going through this, because I was kind of like, worried about the bill and stuff like that, and she was like, well, they have programs, so you need to call and ask for the program, the special circumstances, and they can waive out and make your hospital bill be exempt, okay? So don't y'all be afraid if you got to challenge these medical people, and if you had a crisis and you, because I know a lot of us don't like to get in ambulance and ride here and ride there. When you in a crisis, like, hey, or especially if you was knocked out, and say if you was in a wreck and you knocked out and they take you to a hospital, and then, you know, when you wake up, you wind up being okay, but they spit that bill out because your insurance don't want to cover it, or if you don't have no insurance. You could tell I wasn't awake to make a conscious decision to get in that rescue. So they made a conscious decision. So in a situation like that too, you can perhaps get a waiver, because a lot of times, you know, when you sign in the ambulance bill, they got to have your signature on there as a consent. They're agreeing to take you to this hospital. That's why when you in the ambulance, they start asking you name, date of birth, da 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 da, and they want your signature so bad because they trying to reassure that they get that fee for transporting you. So if you are unconscious and an ambulance take you somewhere, even if you wake up and your injury is not serious, you can contest that. Hey, I did not consent to go. When I woke up, I was in a hospital. So you get what I'm saying? Certain situations can evaporate that bill, where the state in these hospitals, they have stuff where they can waiver that bill out. All they gonna do is go in there, adjust it, waiver it out, yeah, and they'll get it on the back end on their taxes, because the same waiver that they adjusted to you when they filed their taxes, they're gonna put on there all the waivers and the things that they did to help people that didn't have insurance. So they're going to win anyway. They're not going to lose it. So if they put you on that list, and you on that list when they file their taxes, here's the 200,000 people that we waived off to help them because they didn't have insurance, and in their tax return, they're going to get, you know how it go. So that, I wanted y'all to know that. So always know that. Don't be afraid to go to these hospitals, and especially if it was something life-saving measures, you fight those bills like, hey, blah, blah, blah. So the last thing with medical, I recently, when I was going to take my shots, right? So by me being older now, they got a shingles vaccine that they offer to older people, because I think they said when you're a certain age, you can wind up getting shingles. And it was something else they had me to take, right? So you know how the doctor coming to, hey, it's your flu shot, is this shot, is shingles, is some other thing they had me to take. So, you know, they'll go down the line and talk to you, right? So that you be like, okay, so I'm like, okay. So what they didn't tell me is that, hey, we need your signature, because if the insurance don't like to pay for these vaccines, you will be liable for them. So you can get the vaccine, but we need your signature. So if the insurance rejects it, you will be liable. So I just got my medical bills, and I had $1,000 thing on there, and I called. I said, did the insurance reject a lot of my bills? Because I know I get a little spill here and there, but I've never got $1,000 spill. And the lady brought it back. She said, oh, you remember those vaccines that you took, the shingles and whatever else they gave you, and da da da. I said, yeah. She said, your insurance rejected those. So because your insurance rejected them, you're entitled to pay. She said, so you know that form they had you to sign? I said, what form? She said, ma'am, when you got those vaccines, did the representative, before giving you the vaccine, let you know that if the insurance rejects these vaccines and you signed a paper agreeing to pay? I said, ma'am, she did not inform me, and I did not sign anything, because if she'd have told me these some shots I might have to pay for, I don't even know what shingles is. You know, I'm silly. I said, shoot, a shingle? What's that? Something you hang up, a chandelier or something? I don't even know what that is. I said, I definitely wouldn't have signed on agreements for it to get $1,000 bill from y'all for 2 or 3 shots, or 2 shots or whatever. And she said, really? You never signed? I said, ma'am, look at the data. They ain't gonna have no signature of me. I would have never agreed and signed something knowing that I would have to take full obligation for something like this. And I was like, no, ma'am. And she was like, ooh. I said, ooh, what? She said, if we don't have your signature, then you might be entitled for a waiver. I said, well, look, search. Look, search. I ain't signed nothing. So that lady went through the files, looked, searched everything. This was just yesterday. And I told her, please look and find it. So I got, you know how your patient's account contact you, and it said you got new billing information. I went and logged in my patient's account. That $1,000, gone, because they did not have my signature. I did not sign and agree to, if the medical insurance don't cover it, that I will opt out of pocket to pay that money for them vaccines. So within this without, all this fighting, huffing and puffing. When they didn't have my signature, they did the diligence of evaporating that cost. So if you get in a situation like that and they didn't inform you that you're going to have to pay this, and it's coming from you if you get rejected, then they are entitled to eat that cost. And one thing about it, I got a really great network of doctors I go through. In Minnesota, we got health partners. I love health partners because they're professionals. They work with you. They got all the stuff, and then they have waiver programs. So say, for instance, if your insurance covers so much and you have so much, and then like if you can submit your bills and all this and stuff like that. Now, I want to tell y'all this. Don't list all your assets if you own this and that and cars and all that. Because if you put on these paperwork, because they're not going to run your credit to see. But if you put on there all this assets you own and they'll ask you about life insurance and all that, to be honest, I always say no. Because I know what they trying to do is say you can cash in the value of your life insurance and you can get asked for some money, or you can sell that car and you could take that jewelry. So when they start asking you about the assets that you have and the value, I would advise you no value, no assets, because they would suggest you to sell that stuff. So that's another tip. Don't get into all that, because if you had all these assets and all this money, you wouldn't be trying to get on a waiver program to get this bill to be waived. So be mindful about that, because then when you state, yes, oh, I own a car, yes, I own this, I own that, then they'll suggest sell your car to pay these medical bills. And then how you gonna get around? So I always, when it comes to those tricky questions, because they don't have the ability to run your credit to see what you, and then if your vehicle is not paid for, you don't own that vehicle. You're still making payments on it. So it's not legally yours. It's the lease agreement is between you and the bank. So that's not yours until you pay it off. So be careful with those type of questions. And if you uncertain, just say no. And then if they come back, because if you ever answer any of that, then now the burden of proof, you're going to have to go around. You got to prove. And then they're going to go digging into your bank accounts and stuff like that and everything. So when it comes to the bank account situation, I tell them I have just, you know how like some people can have a bank account, but it's just like connected to their deposit, like a checking, well, checks, you get checks to go in there, but it's not like, you don't say I got a savings and I got this, I got that. So it's like, hey, I got just a direct checking where my payments going there, just direct checking. So if you say it's like a direct checking, you're not saying like, oh yeah, I got a checking account, I got a savings account, I got a 401. You go to saying all that, then now they're going to request to see that because you inform them. But if you just know I don't have all that, I just got basic checking, and then they ask how much money in your checking account, they'll ask that sometime. I'll be like under, I think it could be like under 5,000 before they start getting into everything or whatever. But I wouldn't declare over $5,000 to them, because they'll feel like you got over this, you can go and you can spend that. So just kind of be mindful of what you're saying and know your rights. But yes, there's waivers, there's programs that can help you to waive this out. If you don't have insurance, if you've been going to the doctor, you need to contact the billing department and ask them, I want to contact you guys about the waiver department because I don't have insurance and I'm getting these bills, and you can be added to that list for them to waive those expenses out. So that's what I wanted to let you guys know. And I shared these long stories just to let you know how things can turn around for you when things is out of your control. Because a lot of us be afraid to go to doctors to catch these, rides to the MLM service. But there are waiver programs that you can enter into to get those things wavered off, and you got to submit the stuff. And now things are so easy, you can do everything from your phone, log into your patient's account, and the documents that you need, you can send it right over with the PDF file without having to go fax and do all this. I was able to do everything right over the phone without faxing. And she's like, you can go right in there and enter all the information. So I entered in everything, and of course within, it wasn't even a good 24 hours, she was not able to find a signature, and I was able to get that waived off. So that $1,000 have been deleted off my account. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Let's not be afraid to go to these doctors and stuff like that, because we need these doctors to prolong and save our lives. So if you have to go and you scared of the insurance part of it, there's waiver programs. But if you don't ask for it, they're never going to tell you. They're going to keep that the best kept secret. You know, you're never going to know. It's like, I want to say this, and I don't want to seem like I'm not playing a race card or whatever, but they're never going to tell a lot of black people about these programs, because I really believe, for me, it wasn't meant for us to be on them. It's for other people to benefit from it. So a lot of times they ain't going to tell us about it. And these programs have been helping people for years with these services. So just know that, and I want you guys to know that. So y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Toodles.